But don't misunderstand. I leave fingerprints outside of your window in the shapes of positive messages.
All over New Jersey, there are basically hundreds, about 300 reports per night all over New Jersey of people seeing drones flying over their property. These drones are military grade drones that are used in like wars like in Ukraine, where these drones carry bombs on them. And then what the drones do is they fly up into the air, and these are typically being operated by a person who is operating the drone, looking for people. And then these drones, when they're used in war, okay, this is not what's going on in New Jersey, but when they're used in war, will then fly down within close proximity to the people on the ground, the soldiers on the ground, and then the bomb which is on the drone will either be dropped or the drone itself will be exploded. I think typically though they just drop the bomb and then it flies up, and then these soldiers are killed, right? So anyways, there's thousands of these drones swarming all over New Jersey, and they're coming from the East Coast, off the coast somewhere out there, and they come west over New Jersey, and they're out here, and no one knows what they're doing. No one knows who's operating these drones. No one knows what's going on here. And this is just happening. And I was skeptical of this. I personally hadn't seen any drones until last night, and tonight there have been like hundreds of them just over my property, So there are actually drones out here, okay? I know I left a comment on like AVS's video saying, oh, I haven't seen them. The same night, I see like 30 of them just flying over my property, just like in my yard, basically, a few hundred feet above my yard. So these are military grade drones that would be used for like bombing people, right? And no one knows where these are coming from. And the New Jersey government is all terrified of these drones, but the federal government doesn't really say. They're just saying, oh, well, it's nothing. It's nothing. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. And I do want to briefly mention this, talk about this. Now, I'm not going to go too deep into this. I asked for advice. I was told not to give the full truth. I will give the full truth if you guys meet our donation goal. If you meet our donation goal tonight, I'll give you guys the deeper story on the drones, because I know the deeper, well, I can't say I know for sure, but I have a pretty good hunch as to what the deal is with these drones. But for me to spill the information will get me banned off of YouTube. But basically, there's lots of different theories going around. Some people are saying that these are UFOs. Clearly, they're not UFOs. Some people are saying that this is the U.S. government, which is flying these drones overhead as some kind of like a psyop. Some people are saying that Iran has a drone mothership off the coast, and this Iranian, and Iran is in the Middle East, guys. It's a Muslim nation, brick worshipping nation in the Middle East, okay? But that the Iranians have this drone mothership off the coast. Then the drones are coming from this Iranian drone mothership over the US, and who knows what they're doing with these drones. And so there have been lots of people theorizing about what these drones are. And I'm going to give you just a very, very surface level take on this. And my take on this would be this. I'm very skeptical, okay, that Iran is sending drones from the Middle East all the way across the Mediterranean Sea or the Pacific Ocean, depending on which way they go. Probably more likely they'd go over the Pacific Ocean. Going through the Pacific Ocean all the way through the Panama Canal over to the east coast of America, and then putting a ship off the coast of America to send drones out all over the East Coast. I find this very unlikely, okay? To be quite honest, I find that incredibly unlikely, okay? Now, yeah, we can get deeper into this, but I'll just say that the Bible tells us that God has not given us a spirit of fear, right? And what these drones ultimately, their purpose is, because clearly they're not killing anyone. Clearly they're not actually doing something necessarily dangerous, right? They're just sort of flying around, possibly taking pictures. And that can be dangerous because knowledge is power. But it's like everything in the U.S. is on GPS satellites, okay? You can get satellite information of everything in the U.S. So I don't think that they're doing scouting missions. I think clearly, wherever these drones come from, I think if anyone does a little bit of thinking, AVS spoke somewhat to this in his video on the drones. We know where they come from. We all know whose drones they are. They're not Iran's. They're not China. We know who they are. Okay, we all know who's operating the drones. And the purpose of these drones is to be used to blame the drones coming. So there's someone else operating the drones, this third party. No one knows who it is, right? No one knows who it is, right? And it's a fear-mongering campaign to make the average American afraid so that they'll point the finger at whatever bad guy the media props up as the culprit behind the drones. And as Christians, we should not allow ourselves to be led astray into the narratives presented by the devil, okay? Everything you see on the news is presented by the devil, right? Now, they may be presenting real facts, like there really are drones, but then this story is twisted. It's twisted to meet some sort of political end, all right? And the political end always, if you're watching anything that's on the television, okay, anything that's not banned off of the mainstream platforms, if you're watching anything that's not banned from the mainstream platforms, or if it's on a mainstream platform has over 10,000 subscribers, then the goal of that media is to serve the interests of the devil, of Satan. And so I would just caution you guys, like I continually caution you guys, don't watch the news. It doesn't affect your life, okay? Have these drones killed me? I'm living out here. I'm fine, okay? So I'll care about the drones when they start bombing me. You know, I'll care about the drones when they have machine gun turrets attached to them that start shooting people, you know. Then I'll care, okay? Until then, I'm prepared. I'm ready for that to happen. And just be ready for calamity to strike. But don't sit here scrolling on your phone, looking at the news, looking at Twitter, being like, oh gosh, World War III is going to happen. Oh gosh, Iran's going to bomb us. Ah! That's what Satan wants. Okay? So, that's my take on the whole drone thing. And I figured that I should give my take, being that I am in New Jersey. I'm actually there. And, so people might be interested to hear my perspective as a New Jersey.